Martone here. Welcome to Brainwork Studios. I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about my involvement with the Magna Carta Rush tribute record. And I'm going to show you the way that I did it and how I did these tracks. I did 3 tracks with them. One is called Fly By Night, it was called Force 10, and the other one is called New World Man. So I'm going to give you a little bit of insight into how I did these tracks briefly. So I'm going to start with the first one, which is called, what do I have pulled up here? Fly By Night in my system. I'm going to quickly show you how I did it. So to start off with, I actually put in the main track that we have here. Oops, let me just solo that for a second. So I have the main track, the original. That's happening right there. So what I wanted to do was, as I'm doing this, I had the direction from Magna Carta to make it newer and heavier sounding. So what I thought to do is definitely to drop the key, down tune the guitars to C instead, and make the guitars really heavy. So as you can hear, here's a difference in pitch from my guitars when I play them here. Much more crunchy, much more powerful inside of that. So as I'm working along with this, I just work with a standard drum loop. Check it out. Here's a drum loop, for instance, that I work with it. And you'll hear there's like little pushes that happen inside of there. Very, very Frankenstein. Like I'll just cut and paste them together to make sure that I can get some hits going on side of it. For this song, this was the easiest song to record for me because I left it pretty bare bones. A trick I did in the chorus, if you actually see here, these are my rhythm guitar tracks, and this one is where the chorus comes in the center over here, center track. So when the chorus actually kicks in, you'll have the 2 stereo left and right track here coming. But when the chorus comes in, you have a center track that kicks here. That adds to the power as well too. And as well, I put a little clean guitar here, flanger guitar. Check this one out. So, no vocal track, I just worked along with the click. That's the first way I did it. So, just to summate on that, I started with the original track. I took directions of changing the key. I kind of kept the exact same tempo. I did a beat map of the tempo of it. Although it sounds like in this track I didn't actually use a click, so I just kind of set it and went along with it. Made the guitars heavier, double-tracked them, triple-tracked them for the chorus, added some nuances for the middle sections with the flanger, and bam! There it was. When I come back, I'll show you the next song. See you in a bit. Okay, welcome back. Now I'm going to talk about the next song, which is called New World Man. Very cool song. This was the second hardest song to do, and the reason because there was a little bit more going on with the guitars that I wanted to make pop out. And it's a difficult job because when you're dealing with Rush, you don't want to screw it up, if you know what I mean, because they're amazing. So who the hell am I to change any parts, etc., etc.? I am not worthy, so to speak. So I had to walk a fine line to make sure, I didn't make it not rock. I wanted to make it heavy, add my own element into it, and just make it cool. So if they were to hear it, they would go, wow, that's a pretty cool way of doing it. So once again, I used the same formula as I did in the last tune. I put the original on top, I got the tempo the same, and I continued. I dropped the guitars again to C. All the rhythm guitars in this were recorded with a Les Paul, and I double amped all the rhythm sounds. I used 2 heads and combined them to one to create these really heavy rhythm sounds on here. I also used a Pigtronics envelope phaser. It gives it a little bit of a, let's just check this out, this stereo guitar heavy stem right here. Let's listen to that. Hear that? Wow. Wow. That's that Pigtronics sound coming in there, which is pretty neat. Now here, check this out. I have a stereo clean sound that's going to be coming up right here if I expand this up here. This is a clean electric guitar. I'll let you hear that by itself. Beautiful sound, right? But I wanted to make it even more inviting. So what I did is I doubled that again with stereo classical guitar here. You hear that? Pretty neat. And then, of course, if I put those 2 together, I'll solo them both so you can hear those both parts played together. Coming up right here. It's got a beautiful sheen to it right there. So if I put once again the working drum loop with that, we have this. heavies, nylon, and the stereo clean. Once again, in the choruses, I'd use the 3 guitars for bam when it hits, so it just pops out even more on it. At the end of this song, I wanted, with the drum loop, I wanted a fast double bass. I'll show you what I mean by that with the stereo heavy guitars. Listen. Nice heavy part. Double bass should follow that. So I think in my working bass track, let me even see if I did that, just to check it out, to give... Let's see. I don't think I did. So what I did was, of course, the other players that were playing, I just gave them these tracks, but with that in mind that hopefully they would be able to match that. So if I put my working tracks with that, we'd get this. So once again, you're hearing a bass guitar play in there, which is right here. Okay. Now, of course, bass and drums, they were replaced from real people. So the way that it worked is I set this all up. I started all the rhythm guitars, got everything ready on the click, exactly perfect as I could, and then shipped it off to the record company, Magna Carta, then they shipped it to the other guys to do their magic on it. And when I come back, I'll tell you about the hardest song.